Today, in the part number 20, practically the last but one about Gog and Magog, we are going to see three news, just three. And although you will see that it seems as if they have nothing to do with each other, it turns out they do, and not only with the matter of Gog and Magog, but also with other things that we have presented. Pay attention, because what we have today has no waste. Well, we will start with one of those three things that we will see today. Look at the first one. Did China warn Israel? Yes, not everything is about Russia and Ukraine. Remember the prophecies of the last verses of Daniel 11. Remember Gog and Magog with all that we have presented. This is also about China and also about Israel. What is the meaning of the supposedly unusual messages transmitted by Beijing to Jerusalem? This is from the 21st of August 2022. There were recent reports of a meeting between Israel's ambassador to Beijing, Irit Ben Abba, and the director of the Communist Party's International Liaison Department, Liu Jianchao, with unusual messages apparently conveyed by the Chinese official, calling on Israel to be careful not to damage its relations with China due to US pressure. Despite the alarming title of the report, there is no need to panic about the content in the first place. These are not new messages, but old and recycled ones which the Chinese side repeatedly transmits. However, it is worth paying special attention to the message that seeks to separate China's relations with various countries from its relations with the US. In other words, while Washington works to form a united front of allies, China is making efforts to dissolve those alliances and pursue a bilateral approach. Second, because of the opportunity. In the words of that official to the ambassador, there is no special content, and precisely the most current issue at this time, Taiwan, was not mentioned in the report. Therefore, it is more likely that he is an official who has recently taken office and as part of his job conducts a round of meetings with foreign ambassadors and conveys Chinese messages to them. In fact, according to the report, these messages were sent to all Western countries. The messages conveyed from the Israeli side are also based on the same statements that the Chinese have heard from Israel for a long time, especially regarding Chinese support for Iran and Israel as a close ally of the US. In conclusion, this is not sensational news, but it is worth paying attention to the geopolitical framing of events and the increasing efforts of the powers to form opposing sides. These efforts will increase as the rivalry between China and the United States intensifies. Yes, it could be what they say here, that yes, it is because this official has entered recently and saying the same as always and a bit more and that's it. But it could be that it is not only just that. It could be that what we saw on the headline, "Did China warn Israel?" is not a trivial thing, not just one other thing of so many, but that the position is closing even more. And the prophecy told us about this, and that is going to happen. Meanwhile, it can be interpreted as you want. You can see that. But sooner or later, that also is going to come. Remember always Daniel 11 last verses, because they go in conjunction with Ezekiel 38 and 39, Gog and Magog. But this is not the only thing that I will show today. Now, another thing that apparently has nothing to do with what we have just presented, but evidently is related with all of this about Gog and Magog. Pay attention to this video. It is from a Catholic media, yes, but please do not miss a detail of what they say here, because it is going to connect all this thing about Gog and Magog also with dimensional portals. Yes, you have heard it well, with dimensional portals. because you're going to see things that we have spoken about there in those conferences that appear also here in this video, and see what connection. Just with the title you can start to imagine what this is about. Pope Francis will visit Russia and the warning from heaven will come to humanity. Will it be Pope Francis that will visit Russia, or will it be the following Pope? We do not know it, but they put the title like this, and see what they associate it with. A visit of Pope Francis to Russia and a warning from heaven comes to humanity. Do you think it is a warning from the true heaven, or is it one that pretends to be coming from heaven to humanity? Pay attention, don't lose a detail, because it has no waste. Well, I imagine you've been very attentive to this video. Certainly do not skip it. If you have skipped the video, go back, look at the link and see the video listening from the top to bottom completely. Yes, something is cooking, and it has to do once more with spiritism, with a satanic matter. And see, as I was saying, how Satan is going to link what the biblical prophecy is with his subtle touch to do a parallel run to the authentic prophecy so as to turn everyone away from the Lord. And how well he has planned it to be. And what do you know? Using a person with stigmatas. Yes, with stigmata. And the Pope goes and obviously recognize it because he even makes him this chapel. Therefore, this is no joke. This is about an absolute diabolical question, a satanic plagiarism for a change. And you can see where Satan is going to take it to. And using what? Once more, a star appearance of the, between quotation marks, Virgin Mary, and the world prepared for perdition. The world only, and also, of course, those that are called as chosen. Many will fall. It is interesting, how many times do I say that these conferences must be seen in line, in order, but in line with all that has been presented, remembering these things, because on the contrary, we are not going to extract the maximum advantage, and the puzzle pieces are fitting perfectly. Take a look also at this other news. This one, you could say also, and what does it have to do with the other? Pay attention. What is an asteroid? What is NASA's plan before an impact? And 5 more questions. Of all the points that this article refers to, we only highlight this one. The 27th of August of 2027, the asteroid Gog will pass 241,688 miles from Earth. That is very close, and there is a 1 in a 10 million chance that an impact will occur in the year 2039. It is not known with precision, but it is estimated that it measures between 0.5 and 1.1 miles. So there is an asteroid that has been named Gog. And why? Because it can destroy the Earth. And they say about the impact in 2039. Well, by that time we won't have to worry about any kind of impact, hey? Because we won't be here. But what do you know? How does this finish? It says, but recently there has been a lot of talk about him because J.J. Benitez, in one of his books, says that he will be the cause of the end of the world. At NASA, they don't see it that way. And we should say, the Bible doesn't either. Yes, because God does not tell us this. But it looks like J.J. Benitez does see it that way. Like, as always, he shows in all of his things the world of spiritism as if it were true. Well, it's not surprising. But how sad. How sad to see that they are relating Gog with a matter that in this case, a person that is in the spiritism ambit, although I doubt that he even knows much that it is spiritism what he writes and believes in, well, it results that he's talking about Gog as the cause of the end of the world. Well, then 3 news that apparently seem as if they don't have to do one with another, but are concentrated in the same topic. And yes, there will be a rock that will impact on the Earth. and that rock is Christ, and he will make the great kingdom finally when all of this ends. Once more, we are not going to finish Gog and Magog here. We have still got one more conference. At least one, yes. Because I said to you, remember what chapters there are after Ezekiel 38 and 39, and how Satan is doing a plagiarism with the prophecies of God, as you have also seen today in this video, and how he is going to give his subtle touch with his diabolical mastery to take the world to perdition, because those final chapters of Ezekiel describe to us something that Satan will apply on the earth no matter what. Out of the context, but he will do it. And we must know that. Because, yes, everything is preparing for the end. Maranatha 2031. May God bless you.